The New York Jets have had a busy free agency period. Tonight, we're going to talk about why there is a reason for optimism as Boygreen joins the show. So, let's get fired up. Thank you to everybody for joining me. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. And while you're here, hit that like button as hard as you can. All right, I hope everybody is having a great night. Before we get rolling, I just want to let everybody know to all the winners from this past month, all the prizes have been mailed out this week. The last of them are going out tomorrow. So if you've won a shirt, if you've won a hat, all that stuff is on the way to you now. And for our March giveaway, which every single caller from every show this month gets added into our March giveaway. This month is a kick-ass Jets bomber jacket with the flaming skull on it, something that I would wear. Every single caller this month gets entered for a chance to win that. So, without further ado, let me dive right into it. The Jets have been busy this offseason. Unlike years past, where we're kind of sitting and waiting for them to make their first move, there was a flurry of activity early on. The Jets added a lot of players, and they strengthened their roster in a lot of positions that really needed it. When Paul gets here, I'll bring him on as well. But there's a lot to like about the moves that they've made. When you look at both Kingsley Enagbare and Joseph Amanyata, both of those guys are really good run-stopping defensive linemen. Okay, Amanyata was rated 8th amongst qualifying defensive tackles in run stop last year. So we've gotten definite proven run stoppers, not to mention Tavondre Sweat in the middle, who is just a massive, massive human being. In addition to that, we brought in Joseph Osai to help with the pass rush. And I'm really curious to see how our new pieces are going to fit with the pieces that we already had. Speaking of the pieces that we already had, and I hope to get into this with Paul, but there have been a lot of people talking about Garrett Wilson. We should trade Garrett Wilson. People get trade happy. We traded Sauce and Quinn, and now they want to trade Brees. They want to trade Garrett. They want to trade everybody. I have heard a lot of people say that Garrett Wilson is not a top wide receiver. And I want to push back against that. Some of the top receivers in this league, Justin Jefferson, misses a fair amount of time with injury. Jamar Chase has missed time with injury. Up until this year, Garrett was never injured. 3,000-yard seasons in a row is nothing to turn your nose up at. That consistency alone should have him ranked up there. Now, I'm not saying he's top 5, but top 10, yeah, absolutely. And I really believe that. His ability to get open, his freakish body control, the way that he can come down with anything you throw at him, that's something that I really want to see how, when we have him and A.D. Mitchell there together, how the two of them mesh. Because by the time we got Mitchell last year, Garrett was already out. And this is one of my favorite things, is the ASS score, ASS. average separation score, which A.D. Mitchell was ranked in the top 5 in the entire NFL. That guy can separate on anybody. And he was lining up like a true number 1 last year and going against number 1 corners. And he still consistently got separation week after week after week. Unfortunately, we just did not have a quarterback that could get him the ball. It'll be really nice to see what a guy like him can do with his ability to separate once Garrett Wilson is back. And for those of you who think Garrett Wilson is not a top 10 wide receiver in this league, let me ask you this. Have you ever even seen an NFL football in real life, like the regular official, regulation football that they use? Have you ever seen one of them in real life? It's got his damn name on it. Are you kidding me? All right. And now it is time to bring on our guest. This is my guy that gives you your daily fix of New York Jets news first thing in the morning, every day on Boygreen Daily. Paul Esden Jr., Boygreen. What's happening, man?
Rickie, my man. It's been too damn long since I've been on the program, so I'm glad to finally, creaky wheels. I need a little bit of oil in some of my gears here, but we'll figure it out during this program. I'm blessed and honored to be on the show with you, brother.
Right on, man. It's nice, a nice surprise for my audience here to have you back on the show again. And I was going to play this since this is the one clip that we both share in common.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It's Boygreen.
That's right, baby. And it's great to be here. It's been cool to see all your success. Rickie New York live on here, which has been awesome. So, man, this is amazing. So I love tuning into the shows, and it's good to be back on. It's like I said, it's been too damn long, baby.
Right on. Well, I certainly appreciate it. And you know what? On this show, I do things that some other channels don't do. I give away prizes, without super chats or memberships or anything. I give prizes to every caller. I do raffles just for callers. And I got an exciting announcement that you're going to be here for, and people are going to be hearing for the first time. In addition to the bomber jacket we're giving away this month, next month for the NFL draft, I'm going to have a draft day giveaway. Every caller in April automatically gets entered to win an NFL Shop custom jersey for our number 2 overall pick, whoever that may be. If it's Arvell Reese, if it's Sonny Styles, if it's David Bailey, and not one of the cheap Chinese knockoffs, I'm going to dig in deep into this shallow pocket of mine and pull out the dineros myself.
Yeah.
And whoever our number 2 overall pick is, call into the show in April, and you will have a chance to win that player's jersey. So
that's awesome. I will be there in person. So it's less than a month away. It was a month yesterday from day 1 of the NFL draft. So I can't wait to be there in person. I can't wait to hear Goodell come up to the podium, draft chimes play, and the Jets have done blah. Whatever blah is apparently going to be on a jersey. Rickie, you're such a giver, man. You're such a giver, and I know the fan base is super appreciative of your generosity.
Well, I definitely try. For me, it's all about the fans and our community, and I try to give back, any chance that I get. Also, this weekend on Saturday, I will have another guest, and this has been coming for a long time. But
nice.
Nick Shine will finally be on the show this Saturday at 8 p.m. So everybody make sure to join me for that too.
Wow, the graphics team at Rickie New York Live. Wow, man, this is
Yeah, you can
spectacular. I can
you
see the
can
production value. Yeah,
you can kind of tell that I did that one myself, but
that's nice. Shout
I'm
out to Nick
getting better
Shine.
with
That's
it.
awesome.
At any rate, get back to where I was when you came in,
Yes,
talking
sir.
about the people who think Garrett Wilson is not a top receiver in this league. And you can see the graphic there. It's got his damn name on it. Come on. This guy is a baller. Garrett Wilson is absolutely a top wide receiver in this league. And if we had a real quarterback, and that's another thing, Geno is back, but it's not going to be like the first time with Geno. He has seen and done a lot since then. When we had him the first time, he was seeing NFL defenses for the first time. He was going through a lot of things for the first time. Now we get like the seasoned, gristled vet version of Geno. And he talked about how excited he is to have weapons around him now. And he specifically named Garrett and Brees. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to what Garrett can do with A.D. Mitchell across from him, who, as I was saying, can separate on anybody. And speaking of the graphics, and I thought about this the other morning when you had Drew on, and he's kind of started talking about how he evaluates wide receivers. And so this is how I evaluate wide receivers.
Let's see.
Number one thing is getting open, which I split into two.
Yeah.
1A, ability to create separation, releases, route running, speed, like top thing. You got to be able to get open. And 1B, finding open spots versus zone, knowing where you are on the field. Number 2, hands, grip strength, being consistent. If you don't catch every ball thrown your way, you better catch the majority of them. Body control, catch radius. Number 3, yak, elusiveness, physicality, fluidity, body movement, being able to make guys miss in space. Number 4, IQ and situational awareness, like knowing where you are on the field, being aware of the sticks, being aware of the sideline, being able to read and react to what the defense is given you. Blocking and physicality, not taking any plays off, even if the ball's not coming to you. I can't stand it when guys, they'll come out of their, off their stance and take a couple of good steps and then they start jogging and you can tell they quit on the play. Can't stand that. And the ability to play in different spots, which that one, not every receiver is going to give you, but that's basically how I look at guys and how I judge guys. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to what this group can do, what this group can be. I've talked about it a lot. Even if, say, we win 7 or 8 games next year, that still puts us picking probably between 8 and 12. So that means between this year and next year, we have 9 picks in the top 50 to 55 picks. 9. That's like a third of the roster. That is a lot of talent that we can dump into this team. And just to kind of illustrate what that could look like if you give us some of those top players both this year and next, our offensive depth chart could look something like this. And yeah, I did throw Jeremiah Smith on there. Reunited with his cousin Geno. Darian Mensah, quarterback. Casey Concepcion. Look at those receivers. Tight ends. Mason Taylor, just fully Ruckert as a blocking tight end. And then to look at the defense. My goodness.
Wow.
You got Sweat with Briggs and Grayson Halton up front. Reese, Demario Davis, Samarian Perkins, the badass linebacker from Ole Miss that come in and eventually probably take Sherwood's place. You got Will McDonald, Jayshon Barham, who will be a great situational pass rusher for somebody. And who knows, depending on how Will McDonald fits in this system, you might be able to take another big name from next year's draft and plug it into that spot. Leonard Moore, your guy from Notre Dame,
Yes,
slotting
sir.
in from AZ Thomas. Devin Marshall, an eventual successor to Brownlee. And then we got Dylan Thieneman to go with Minka Fitzpatrick in the back end. Like, my goodness, can you imagine what this team would look like if our
Wait a second.
offense-
Where's Andre Cisco? Where the hell was he on that graphic? Where was Andre Cisco? Did he?
Oh, you know what? I it's like fantasy. It doesn't show my bench players.
But you're drooling. I mean, you're showing me these depth charts. I'm just falling all over myself over the possibilities, the potential, what's there, what projects to be there. I mean, again, I've heard you. I've seen some of your mock drafts on Twitter. It's good to catch up on those. And Dylan Thieneman being a popular 16th overall selection. I mean, oh my goodness. And then a lot of people loved him before the combine. They see the combine running a 4.340. I mean, unbelievable. So I would not rule out another dip at safety if the right opportunity, need the right players falling in the right places for it to happen, because you do have a group that you could rock with. Dane Belton, Andre Cisco, Malachi Moore, Minka Fitzpatrick. In theory, that could be the 4-pack combination we line up week 1. But I don't think you have to be reserved to the fact that that's it either.
Yeah, me either. I think you can still add to that group. Same thing with linebacker, tight end. I mean,
Sure.
There's a lot of room for improvement, but we've got a lot of picks. So, sure. I mean, I can shuffle that up and mock it a different way and take, instead of Thieneman, Vega Ione, and, CJ Allen instead of Concepcion, and Colton Hood instead of, whoever was at 44, Pregnon. And it still comes out looking really good. And I didn't even put offensive line on there where, you could have an Emmanuel Pregnon or Jake Slaughter or Connor Liu or somebody slotting into that offensive line as well. So, but yeah, I mean, just the sheer volume of picks that we have, like the thing that made that Garrett Sauce, year so special is we got those 4 guys. And it was the same thing when we got Abraham and Ellis and Pennington and Anthony Beck. And then later on in that same draft, we got Lavernius Coles.
100%.
And but we have the chance to not just have one draft like that, but back-to-back years like that, thanks to Mougey and AG. And it's not, out of character for me to say that this is a rare occurrence. Like, this is a very rare occurrence for any team to have that many picks in back-to-back years. Is really remarkable. And dude, we're not the Rams. We need our first round picks.
Not F them picks. We need them picks.
Dude, the Rams in 5 years, they don't make a first round pick. And then the first time in years that they draft Jared Verse Defensive Rookie of the Year, and his teammate is the runner-up.
Yeah.
Second
round, right.
My goodness. Some folks got all the luck, I swear.
I will say this, though. I will say this, though, in terms of the draft stuff, like, to your point, I'm glad that you brought it up in that way, that Jet fans don't take this for granted, that you have this sort of treasure chest on. You're just like, another year where we have a lot of picks. No. This is a special opportunity. I know it sucks, and different people felt differently about Quinnen Williams being shipped off and Sauce Gardner being shipped off and how you all felt about it. And it sucked in the moment of your team just suddenly being much worse immediately. Is the fact of the matter is it gives you an opportunity. You get a shovel and you can dig yourself out of the hole you're in. It doesn't guarantee you will, but you have the opportunity to dig yourself out of that hole and not only just get back to a level of homeostasis here, but to thrive, to ultimately, of course, find that quarterback as the key crown jewel of this puzzle. But it allows everything else. So yeah, this is a historic 2 years. This is a seismic moment in Jets history here.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the other thing that kills me, and I talk about all the time, is everybody going, "Oh, but we need to trade back. We don't have a 3."
Yes,
dude,
I keep hearing that every day.
2 2s and 2 1s. Like, that's better than a 3. Like, I'll take 2 2s and 2 1s over a 1 2 3 any day of the week.
100%. 100%.
And before we get into some of the free agent additions, I'm going to bring on our first caller, and
Ooh,
I
nice.
think I think this might be a first-time caller.
Ooh.
Tony, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Rickie? Paul?
Tony,
Good,
great
man,
to see
good.
you, buddy.
Yeah, Paul. Always enjoy watching Saturdays with your dad. You know,
Thanks, man.
he always brings common sense into the equation. You know, he's great. You know,
Yeah,
but
thank you.
I wanted to talk. Like, I'm looking forward to this draft because I'm really hoping that Mougey Magic really does well with in the later rounds, unlike last year, because he's going to have his scouts and everything, and I really think he's going to get depth players like he did with the free agency. Like, this was so great, just getting, instead of all these bozos like, you know, Tony Adams and his replacements that were worse than him, and Clemens and all these guys that McGregor and all. You know, we were going to have people that can play coming off the bench, which is critical to compete. You know,
Yes,
and I'm just curious.
absolutely.
I'm curious on what you guys think about. Like, you know, I don't follow all the hype with this guy Ty Simpson. The first four picks got to be quality picks, and I'm hoping to get a trade down, and we take a shot, like get a third round pick, and maybe pick Allah, because he was like the number one. Everyone says, but I think that he's more of a Frank Reich type of guy. He's big. He has to, you know, he has to improve, but he's a project, but he has potential to be a franchise quarterback. He was number one last year. Can you give me your intake? Can you guys give me your intake of what you think about Allah for a backup? Because, you know, I hear his name a lot mentioned, but, you know, I don't really watch college ball like you guys do, but he seems like the real deal. Like they want to step up to the plate in the future.
Right on, and definitely appreciate the call, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for the support, and you are now in our raffle for the jacket this month. With Drew Aller, I think the expectation is that when he went back to school, he would take the next step and become even more of a finished product. And instead, he kind of regressed. I know he played with an injury, you know, missed a bunch of time this year. But even prior to the injury, like his footwork was kind of a mess. And I don't know. It's hard with him because it's trying to figure out how much of it was the injury and how much of it was just him. But I do agree that, you know, I'm not bought into the Ty Simpson, you know, hype either. And if we do take a quarterback, I predict it to be a day three project kind of guy like that. Me personally, I've been leaning Sawyer Robertson, the kid from Baylor. I think he's the kind of prototypical Frank Reich type quarterback if you look at him. Also at the combine, I noticed he was one of the only guys that wasn't underthrowing receivers in the drills. So
Yes.
that was nice to see. He kind of had an arm on him. But, you know, even if it's like, say, a Garrett Nussmeier, who maybe isn't quite as tall, and people say he's got small hands and this and that, but you know what? He's a smart kid. He's a coach's son, kind of like Pennington. And if we're talking about a guy that, like, this isn't going to be our franchise QB. If we draft a quarterback this year, he isn't going to be the guy. We're still taking a quarterback next year, regardless. But this could be your long-term backup. And I mean, dude, look how many backup quarterbacks played last year. I mean, you know,
Sure.
You figure backup quarterback at some point, he's going to see the field. So I'm all for taking a quarterback, but like I said, a day three guy, those top picks, I want playmakers. So when our eventual quarterback gets drafted next year, you know, who knows? Maybe it's Arch. Me personally, I want Darian Mensah. If not Mensah, I like Jaden Mayava. I want one of those two guys. I would even take Dante Moore, but I really like Mensah and Mayava. I want somebody with an M name.
Okay. Yeah. I've sort of identified that in this game of Guess Who, which I like a lot. I'll say this on Drew Aller. Obviously, he's got the prototypical size. He's listed at 6'5", 228 pounds. He's got a rocket launcher surgically attached to his shoulder. I wrote a story about him earlier this week. The Jets had him in for a private workout this past Friday and had him over the weekend. He, along with 11 of his Penn State teammates, they all brought in for a private workout, and they wanted to see Drew work out with his teammates and guys that he's familiar with, to see Drew in that light in their own facilities. And Connor Hughes of SNY said the Jets came away really impressed. They liked a lot of what they saw. So to me, absolutely fascinating to hear that sort of a takeaway. He talked about that on Jets Final Drive. And again, here's the thing on the draft stock for Drew Aller, and I agree with you, Ricky. You know, I'm a Notre Dame Golden Domer guy, so I got to see Drew Aller versus Notre Dame in the college football playoff, not this past season. It was the previous year, and there's plenty of ugly flaws from Drew just in that game, but it just sort of is a microcosm of his greater career that makes you feel a little bit squirrely. By the way, in the middle of my rant, huge shout out to Jake Asman tonight, the Jets Collective, him, Rich Samini, BT, Brandon Tierney. Absolutely. Phenomenal show, phenomenal debut. Great. I'm so happy for those guys. I took a bunch of notes earlier today that I'm going to cut up for shorts for you guys for Jets Collective. So many great moments, stories, and anything. And if we can help promote that show as well, they're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we could do any promotion that helps them, terrific. Oh my God, what a wonderful debut.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely. If you guys have not already, go over there and subscribe. Jake's new channel he's got going, Jets Collective, himself, Rich Samini, Brendan Tierney. Really good stuff. Right before I started my show, I was watching, and right when I looked, it's like Jets Collective, 420 watching, and I was like, oh, Jake must be bringing the smoke. So
and he was. It was a super fun show, so they should be very happy. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an every Tuesday night thing, apparently, moving forward, and great. I see Jake Asman says I can answer your inside baseball question next time we speak for sure. He said he saw that after we ended. I do a weekly with Jake on my MC Show digital channel to promote that, and good. That's going to be one of my questions to Jake to hear how all this came together. And I have questions about Jake sort of being the point guard in this new role. So I've got a lot of questions for Jake about his new Jets Collective. So I'm overflowing with questions. So I can't wait to talk to Jake. We'll talk to him tomorrow on the channel. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But to wrap up the Drew Aller thing for Tony's call, again, here's the thing on his draft stock. This is a guy, in my opinion, he is not an option at all inside the top 44 picks for the Jets. He's not. And to me, he's not. The first time I consider it is the next available slot for the Jets, which is 103. If they take Drew Aller at the top of day 3, it's a win-win. If you take him and he's the franchise quarterback, holy friggin' crap, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, we found our day 3 quarterback for dirt cheap for the future. God bless America. If he flops completely and he's terrible, like, all right, pass the biscuits, who cares? It was a 4th-round pick. Whatever, man, it didn't work out. And then there's another level to this, is that what if he's a backup quarterback, to your point, Ricky? That's a very valuable asset to have if he just ends up being a really good backup for a long time. We could never have enough good quarterbacks. If you look at the last 11 seasons for the New York Jets, only 2 of the last 11 seasons where they had one quarterback start the entire year. 2015, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2024, Aaron Rodgers. 9 of those other 11 seasons, they were forced to use at least two different quarterbacks or up to 4 different quarterbacks. So, always, if you're a Jets fan, you always need a backup quarterback.
Technically, didn't Aaron sit out part of the last game in his season? Didn't Tyrod come in that last game and play?
Yeah. And also, if that's the bar,
but Aaron started.
Correct,
so,
correct.
Yeah,
but no,
okay.
but the same challenge flag, if you're going to bring that up, 2015, Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? He got hurt in the Raiders game. Geno Smith came back and made a return. So they didn't complete those games. It wasn't pillar to post. So even that season, to your point, you bring up 2024, good point on Tyrod Taylor Buffalo game where Tyrod finished it off. 2015, Ryan Fitzpatrick gets hurt very early in that Raiders game. That's back when they were Oakland Raiders. And Geno Smith came and finished that game. Ryan was able to start the next week. So, yeah, I'm only referencing start specific, but you're right. If we're talking about full pillar to post, we got to go back a lot further than 11 years. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. But you know what? And to me, honestly, if I was doing the draft, the first time that I would take a quarterback wouldn't be at 103. It would be at 140.
Okay, that's on the comp pick, which makes sense.
And now, in some of my previous mocks, I was waiting all the way until 179, but now all those quarterback rankings have every one of them has gone up a little bit. And so now they're not lasting that long. Like I think Cade Klubnik is probably one of the only guys that last to
Clemson's,
that point.
right. Yeah.
But you know what? I had people from the Senior Bowl like texting me pictures of Jet staff taking like this long extended walk with Taylor Green and spending time with him.
Talented kid, man.
You know, we got people talking about the Jets going to see Carson Beck this week.
Sure.
To your point, they spent a lot of time with Aller. We know that they've spoken with Sawyer Robertson a couple of times already.
CJ Carr today at Notre Dame's Pro Day.
Yes. So what I'm getting at is when it comes to quarterback, the Jets are leaving no stone unturned. They're talking to every one of these guys. They're exploring every option, which they should.
Right.
And like we said, that's important. Backup's important, not just a quarterback at any position, which brings me to my next point. Like the guys that we brought in, you know, so far this offseason, we have really improved the depth of our team. You know, Kingsley, Enigbari, and Joseph. I get those two guys' names mixed up.
Yeah, so it's Kingsley Enagbari and Joseph Asai.
Okay. I'm thinking of David Amanyata.
David Onyemata. Yeah, a defensive tackle. Yeah,
the two defensive tackles. Amanyata was like ranked 8th amongst qualifying defensive tackles against the run. So that's a nice addition. Tavondre Sweat, a massive human being in the middle, is going to help stopping that run. Joseph Osai, and don't get me wrong, there were, you know, some Marcus Mariota and oh gosh, why am I blanking on the guy's name now? Oh, the guy that just went to Minnesota that we were worried we were going
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. There were guys like that too. But watching his highlights, Mac Jones, who was a Patriot, love seeing Patriot quarterbacks get sacked.
Yeah, sure.
Jared Goff, Justin Herbert. But there was a lot of mobile quarterbacks too. Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson twice. The one time he sacked Lamar, he stripped the ball and they got it on like the 2-yard line. It set up a go-ahead touchdown for his team. So he's definitely a valuable piece. Younger than Jermaine, and with Dunbar there to help develop him, I'm really intrigued to see what he can maybe bring to us. Minka Fitzpatrick in the back end, who's still a really super productive player. And, you know, when I say Minka Fitzpatrick, don't everybody think about, you know, that time where we were playing Pittsburgh and he kind of took the bad angle and GW went all the way to the house. Not that Minka, because that doesn't happen very often. But the other one, who is still intercepting balls and who will be a great leader for those young kids in the back end. And I can't even say the word leader without mentioning DeMario Davis.
Of course.
And what a huge ad that was. Like, dude, I remember after the signing, I was thinking, like, you know, when we first got him and he was a brand new Jet, like, dude, those like Ray Lewis sideline speeches he used to give to the guys when he's out there breaking them down. Like, oh my God. I'm like, you know, and nothing against Sherwood, but like that guy's kind of an introvert. And he said himself, he doesn't want to be the guy standing up in front of the room.
Right.
Well, DeMario is that guy. He's just naturally that guy. And we need that guy. And so the leadership component that both of those guys bring, but Davis in particular, is something that we've lacked since Mosley's been gone. And just having a guy that's that smart, that's seen that much ball, that can get guys lined up, I think it's going to be absolutely tremendous for us. So
I agree. And by the way, I see Jake saying, love this stock exchange hat, baby. Just arrived today. So thank you to Trevor Sycamore and Connor Rogers, NFL SE, the NFL Stock Exchange. So I'm going to be honest, Rickie, I know we're both fans of both of those guys in the show in general. Like every
Absolutely.
time they've went to sell a hat, I'm like, oh, great. They're like, here's the link. And I go to purchase and they're sold
They're
out. I'm like,
gone.
what the? I'm like, oh, what? So I've tried that like for months. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just never going to get a hat. And then most recently they said, hey, we got a few left. I went, oh, let me go. And it took a few weeks, but I'm glad they got it. And here it is, day one. So appreciate
you
that.
know
Thank
what's
you for
funny is when they first announced they were going to have hats again, I was like all stoked because I've got one.
Mhm.
I'm going to be honest. Somebody made it for me. And so it's not their actual hat with the arrow. It's got the arrow, but it's got the, NFL SE letters across the top too. So you can tell it's bootleg and it's not the real thing.
Yeah.
But I was so bummed because they never had hats. They were always sold out for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then when they announced they were selling them again, I was like, oh yeah, but I get paid every 2 weeks. And I had already spent my money for that cycle when they announced it. So I had to wait. Within 2 weeks, when I got paid and I went to order, the black ones were all gone already.
The black ones were all gone immediately for me. And they had a few of these, and that wasn't my first choice. But now that I'm wearing them, I'm like, you know what? I like it. I as a Jets fan, most of mine are green or black. So to mix it up with a white one every once in a while, again, it wasn't my first choice in my head when I clicked on the link. But when it was here and now I'm seeing it, I love it. So blessed be he.
Yeah, and I almost sent you a hat. However, I know that you're, by your own admission, you said this, not me. I'm not passing judgment, but you did say that you're kind of a hat snob.
That's correct. And I am a hat snob.
These hats that I have, the last batch that I got, and it was a new company.
Yeah.
But when they came, they weren't the plastic snapback backs. They were a Velcro. Velcro I can live with better than like the buckle kind.
I agree.
I don't care for those, but I didn't know if that would be a non-starter with you, the Velcro or not.
I support, man. I support. So if you have any kind of hat available, I'll rock it for you, Rickie. That's the kind of guy.
Okay, which and if people don't, the next ones will be going back to the regular plastic snapback, but if anybody doesn't mind the Velcro and they want a hat, I've got five of each one left, $25 a pop, and shipping is free. So if you want one of those, reach out to me either on Discord on X, or you can email me at my email address right there.
Who's the actor you had that sort of posed for you for all the hats?
That would be me. However, I do have my daughter is actually taking some photos for me for the merch shop when it launches, wearing some of the women's shirts.
Wow. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's actually something we got to do this weekend is take some more of those pictures, which the merch shop will launch in late August to coincide with the beginning of the season.
Congratulations on that. That's going to be awesome. To answer your thing about, the off season has sort of changed everything. I just love that. And I was hearing Rich talk about this on the Jets Collective, that the identity, the personality is just different now with these guys in. I wanted Demario Davis. I think we all, as Jets content creators, do these shows where we circle our guys. If we were running the shop, who would we add? And Demario Davis was at the top of my list, man. I really wanted Demario. I didn't care about the age. He had more tackles last year than he's had at any other point in his career. So 37, schmurdy-7, it doesn't matter. He's still playing at a high level. The numbers against the run are still really good. Okay, is he not the best linebacker in coverage anymore? So be it. But the leadership void that he fills, you mentioned it earlier with Jamie Sherwood not being a guy that typically is comfortable as this extrovert captain, rah-rah guy in front of the room. And he reached another level when he had CJ Mosley. And I know Mosley got hurt, which opened up the opportunity for Jamian. But Jamian got his opportunities with Mosley behind the scenes, helping him along and going through all that. So to me, I think the Demario Davis addition is spectacular. I love David Onyemata. I think the defensive tackle room is stacked. De'Vondre Sweat, freaking David Onyemata, Harrison Phillips. Juwan Briggs is signed to a 1-year deal for $1.1 million. He's making the veteran minimum. What a highway robbery job by Darren Mougey. I mean, that's insane, man. And it's because of, for those who don't know, the rules with a exclusive rights free agent, which is a unique, funny term that because of how the Jets acquired him from the Browns, they get him dirt cheap for this year, and then they can worry about paying him next year. I mean, what an absolute steal. I still think there's a couple pieces of this defense I'd like to see improve a little bit. Bring in another young linebacker. I would love to see that. We've talked about Jacob Rodriguez, and some people are Josiah Trotter guys, and we could go through the list of linebackers on day 2 that maybe people, or day 1 for the Sonny Styles people in the audience that you want to get it off. Yeah, sure. Right. 100%. I saw him. Field Yates had him in the first round in one of his recent mocks. So, that possibly is on the table. That could totally make a lot of sense. And then again, my favorite defensive addition, Nahshon Wright, Pro Bowl corner from the Chicago Bears last year, 6'4". As an individual, he had more takeaways than anyone else in football. 5 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries. And again, he's got such a unique story. Prior to last year, he had never started more than 2 games in a season, and he's got the length. He was built on a lab table. He's 6'4", and the Jets didn't have to pay an iron price. Sometimes when you get those guys coming off a career year, they have to get paid a ton of money. They paid him 1-year deal, maximum value $5.5 million. What a superstar deal! If he hits it, the Jets are one of the other 31 teams are going to pay him a bag. If he doesn't hit it, who cares? You didn't pay a lot of money, and he could project to start at corner, although our boy Azareye'h Thomas, we're hoping, gets one of those starting jobs as well at corner. But I love the Nahshon Wright addition, one of my favorites on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see how he fits in. And I'll tell you what, one of my sneaky favorite signings is, and I know he's not a big name, he's not Derwin James or Antoine Winfield Jr., but dude, Dane Belton. I'll tell you what he is he is a consistent, sure tackler. That guy will lay the wood, and he does not miss tackles. So to replace a guy like Tony Adams, who is a complete liability, with a guy that's that consistent and that steady, it is just massively underrated. Like, dude, we've made some really good moves. I'm 100%. Like really optimistic. I know that, we had an awful fucking year last year.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Glenn was not perfect. Yes, he made some mistakes. Yes, the abrasive attitude didn't go well with the not winning. But that said, we're basically trotting out a practice squad quarterback. Our number 1 receiver is gone. By the end of the year, our slot corner is gone. Our number 2 corner is gone. Our best pass rusher is gone. Yeah, we got blown out those last few games, but look at all the guys we were missing, not to mention the fact that there were another handful of guys who just flat out quit on us. And I don't think it can all be put on Glenn. And you know what? I know that this is personal for him. I know that he wants to win just as bad as any one of us. This means something to him. He was a Jet. This is where his career started. And I feel bad for him. And I heard those Harrison Phillips, comments about the cancerous locker room that he inherited, which I had suspected all along, but to hear guys come right out and say it, and to literally see, like in that Jacksonville game where it was obvious that Quincy had just quit on us, similar to his brother, like, man, it's like, I felt really bad for Aaron Glenn. And I think that when Aaron Glenn got here and he said, we're going to win now, he was looking at what All-Pro Quincy did on tape, what Prime Quinnen did on tape. And then as the year progressed and things started not going well and those guys just gave up, I think he went home and looked at the mirror and went, man, I didn't realize who those guys were. And I think it was a real hard fucking pill for him to swallow.
Sure.
But Aaron Glenn, if he's anything, he is what you see. That's how he is. He's not going to change it for anybody. And just like he said about the players, they're going to make mistakes. It's about not making the same mistakes twice. And he always says, I got to look at myself first. And everything he says about those guys, he applies to himself. And so I think he went back and he went, you know what? I made some mistakes. Now it's time to fix them. And I think he's done a good job with that. He brought in the experienced guys on offense, Musgrave and Reich to develop a quarterback. He brought in young guys to assist them to keep it fresh and not, an antiquated system. We brought in our linebackers were probably some of the worst in the league last year. They bring in Ben Bowling from the Texans, who had one of the best defenses. That's another huge coaching signing that I think was really underrated and under the radar that I think is going to pay huge dividends, by the way. And, man, I'll tell you what, and looking at this team and looking at this group, and when it comes to and I think that Mougey has done a great job of finding guys that fit Glenn's system and what he wants to do. And that's why I have confidence going into this draft. But looking at that number 2 pick, and dude, I love me some Sonny Styles. And I keep thinking to myself, what if he is like the next Luke Kuechly and we pass on him?
Oh, my God.
But you can't what if yourself all the time. And David Bailey, like, there's a chance he could improve his run defense. But if he doesn't, we got 2 Will McDonalds, basically.
Yes,
and I don't want to spend a number 2 pick on a rotational player that's not going to play every down. Arvell Reese, right now, today, is a fucking dominant beast against the run, period. Already, right now, day one, he would be, if he doesn't improve any at all, he will be a very good linebacker with very good movement skills, lateral movement skills, speed to close on guys. He's got it. Very smart, really super smart, able to read and react very quickly. And, but if he can put it together as a pass rusher, he really could be like that Micah Parsons type freak. And this is the thing, like, say we pass on Sonny Styles, we take Reese. There are other good linebackers, maybe not quite as good as Styles, but there are CJ Allen and Trotters and Rodriguez that you can get. If you don't take Reese, like, I think the next best pass rushers are honestly quite a big step down. And I know that even though a lot of it with him is potential, those other guys just simply don't have that potential.
Right.
And I don't want to say it like it's a fallback option, but like I said, as a fallback option, even if he doesn't develop into this monster pass rusher, you still got a great linebacker. So it's like you can't necessarily lose there. Whereas Bailey, and that's the thing too. When you watch the two of them play, dude, Arvell Reese, he'll contact offensive linemen, he'll stack them and shed them. With Bailey, it's all like avoiding the guy and trying to go around him. Like, he does not shed blocks. He does not do well with contact. And you know what? This is the thing. If those two guys, instead of being NFL athletes, they were criminals, Bailey would get charged with evading, eluding, would get charged with assault and battery, because that's how their play styles are.
I love that. Again, for me, I am on the Arvell Reese train, and I'm not just saying that because I can hear that's where your wind is blowing. That's how I felt for a while now. Maybe David Bailey is this crazy pass rusher immediately, maybe. But you don't just draft someone for right now, even though, to your point, I think too many people don't understand what Arvell Reese brings to the table immediately, and that there are false perceptions about him. This guy's this kid. He's a kid, for God's sake. He's 20 years old, man. He's going to turn 21 right before the start of the season. There's just such a beautiful runway. He's got like a 2-year age gap on David Bailey, and that may sound inconsequential to people maybe watching the show, but that's a massive difference in terms of age and potential, what they can be. I love Arvell Reese. I love Arvell Reese. Again, dude, 6'4", 240 pounds.
He's 20 years old, and I'm going to tell you right now, like, I study all the draft prospects, but not only am I about to tell you this, but Joe Blewett has said it, Connor Rogers has said it, a lot of people have said it. At 20 years old, 244 pounds, Arvell Reese is the strongest period 20-year-old at that weight I have ever seen in my life. And that's lifting weights in the weight room and being able to throw guys around on the field. And like Connor said, imagine a couple of years from now when he's like 257, 258 and adds even more muscle to that frame, what he's going to be. And it's just friggin' scary, dude. If he's that strong and that violent now, oh my goodness. Yeah. And dude, it's enticing. It is enticing. And I think it's too good to pass up on. And like I said, there isn't, even though there is a drop off, I think after Styles to like say CJ Allen, his pro comp is Roquan Smith. That's pretty goddamn good. And he's already a natural leader. Like there is a ton to like about him. But the drop off from Reese to the next, pass rusher / outside linebacker, I think is more substantial. And yeah, I think the potential is just too good to pass on with that player.
100%. And again, just look at everything else the Jets have done on defense. You can see that Arvell Reese, this chess piece, can plug and play in so many different places. He could be your off-ball linebacker on the first couple of downs, put his hand in the dirt, or be a stand-up pass rusher just sort of leaning over the edge opposite of Will McDonald on passing downs. It just fires me up. I feel like that should be the pick at number 2 overall, and we'll see what the Jets end up deciding. But, man, Arvell Reese is so talented. When you hear Micah Parsons comparisons, like if he could be half the player of Micah Parsons, what a superstar home run franchise-altering pick this is for the Jets.
I knew this comment was coming. Sonny Styles, it does kind of sound like a porn name, but I can promise you that's not what's going on there. Sonny Styles isn't going to be effing anybody. He's just going to be effing them up.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, man, like, yeah, I've
by the way, less than a month. I see Ted in here saying, are we a month away from the draft? It's a month from yesterday. So April 23rd. Today's March 24th. So we're a month from yesterday is the draft, and I will be there in person. So I'll be at Jake's draft party. I'll be hanging out with Lou B. I'm going to be hoteling it up with Johnny Boy. So, oh, yes.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a fun time. I can't wait. I've never been to the draft in my life, but Rickie, I can feel your passion for the draft is so powerful. I've been a massive fan of the draft for a long time. So I'm going to be honored. I'm probably going to even cry a little bit when I'm there because that's just such a surreal experience, something I watched growing up as a kid. And to be at that place and to hear Roger Goodell's voice and be around fellow Jet fans, it's going to be pretty moving.
That's going to be awesome, dude. Have a great time there. Make sure to take lots of photos and videos to share with us back here.
Of course.
I put so much work into the draft, and I look forward to this. And dude, after seeing the free agency moves, I'm even more encouraged. But I have a feeling that even the detractors, even the people that are doubtful with Glenn, I think we're going to come out of this draft loaded with talent, and all those people are going to look at Aaron Glenn and go, "Damn."
So you do have a plan.
Great. Any use of Breaking Bad. That's one of my favorite shows all time. I love it. I've never seen that clip used though before, so that is hilarious. I love that.
You know what? That's one of my favorite shows. Like, Dexter.
Love Dexter.
Like all the clips I use are all from my favorite shows.
Good.
And
good.
The other one, which Breaking Bad's probably a close second, but tied for first would be Dexter and the show The Originals, which has Klaus, my favorite bad guy.
You've heard of me. Fantastic.
Okay, what about Sons of Anarchy? Is that on your list?
You know what? I actually have not watched that one yet.
Oh, come on, Rickie. You got to put that on your list. Biker Gang. Oh, man. It's
you know
so
what?
good.
It took me until like last year during the season to watch The Wire for the first time.
I have not seen that one. Okay.
Dude, that one's really good. That's a kick-ass show.
Is that a high recommendation? Should I put that, or should I write that one down?
Yeah, believe it or not, the way I heard about that is I was watching the show Supernatural one day, and
Oh,
they
I
were
love
like,
that show.
"Oh,
Yeah.
what's that guy doing?" And he's like, "Oh, he's binging The Wire. He's not coming out of that room for a while." And I went, "The Wire? What is that?" And so I googled it.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's good.
That's
Yeah, my
actually how I
fiance got
found
me
out
into
about that
Supernatural.
show.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
hilarious. Yeah.
yeah. So props to Supernatural for turning me on to the.
Nice. Wow.
Oh,
The Wire.
Genergy is that you wouldn't have guessed in a good way or a bad way. Dude, the originals is like it's a story about the very first family of vampires, and so
Okay.
it's like set in
So I
the
should write
world.
that one down too. I've never seen that one.
Yes, fucking
Oh, okay.
amazing.
Oh,
If
okay.
you've got Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free.
I do. Okay. All right. The original.
Yes.
All right.
Dude,
a lot of
listen, I'm telling you,
recommendations.
like,
okay.
kind of like Dexter, how they had such good dialogue and snappy comebacks, and like
Sure.
after you got to know the characters, like you knew them all so well, you get really invested in it. It's
All
like
right.
that.
Okay.
The writing and the dialogue is so good. And dude, let me tell you what, these
Okay.
people are so underhanded, and the way that everybody has their own agenda and schemes against one another, it is insane. And the bad guys in this show, like you piss them off, they probably won't kill you. They'll probably kill your entire family, all your friends, everyone on
Nice.
your street, everyone you've ever met, but then leave you alive to live with. Like they're just ruthless.
Vicious. Okay. I love that. I'm
yes.
getting some homework from you now. So again, put Sons of Anarchy on your list. Oh my God. That's one of my favorite
All right,
shows.
yeah,
of all time.
I'll put that on my list, and then
Good.
we'll
compare notes.
On.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely awesome. Would highly recommend that
Nice.
to anybody
Okay.
that hasn't seen it. That definitely tied for number one all-time show for me. But
Ooh, good.
yeah, man, this draft is right around the corner, and I'm super stoked and can't wait for it. And I'm looking really forward to it, and looking forward to being able to give away that jersey too for our number 2 overall pick, whoever that might be.
Whoever it may be. That's right.
Yep. So if you're big fans of Reese, if you're big fans of Bailey, big fans of Styles, call into the show during April and get a chance to win their jersey once the Jets select them. So that was, what I was trying to think of what to do for the month of the draft for a giveaway.
Sure.
And then I thought about it, and I was like, shit, we got the number 2 overall pick. What am I sitting here thinking about? Like the answer's right in front of me. Like
Right.
I'll give somebody the jersey of whoever that pick is.
Perfect.
And whoever you are, you're lucky, because you know what? You're probably going to have that number 2's jersey before I get it.
Me too. Yeah. Very likely.
I'll be buying yours first, and then I'll probably be buying mine the following month.
I love that. That's a cool way to honor. Again, I was always a big Jets fan that got the jerseys immediately, like the rookies, and then once the numbers official that they send it out to you. Like, and even though this one didn't work out, I still wear it, and I don't burn jerseys. I don't give them away. I keep it in my collection, and every once in a while, if you randomly see me at a game, you're like, wait, what the? Vernon Golston, 56. I got that as soon as he was drafted, and it looks so good. 56 in my head. I'm like, oh, Lawrence Taylor. Oh, this is going to be phenomenal. He's going to be here forever. And that didn't work out so well. Me, you, and Vernon Golston are all tied for the same amount of sacks, Rickie, unfortunately, in Jets history, which is a big fat donut. But I do have that 56 jersey, and I wear that every once in a while. I get a few looks, but I wear that every once in a while.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got some obscure ones. My favorite one is like every once in a while I'll break out the David Clowney, and I'll like wear it when I go to our Jets fan club thing here.
I love that.
People make comments about it, but the only jerseys I didn't keep were Zach Wilson. I threw out a few months ago probably, and I actually did get rid of a Justin Fields too. I just got so disgusted I couldn't look at either.
The news, so I don't know how recent this is, but I just saw it like right near the beginning of the show. Geno Smith officially has taken jersey 7, which just suddenly became available when the Jets traded away Justin Fields. So he will be going back to that jersey right there, folks. A more updated jersey, but he is taking number 7. So I need to see if I know a good jersey guy. I got a Justin Fields jersey in the closet, so if I can kind of get that switch to Smith, that'd be.
Oh
terrific.
yeah. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe I jumped the gun getting rid of that one. I could have done that same thing.
Yeah, I still have Zach Wilson too. But yeah, David Clowney, 100% preseason superstar. I remember Hard Knocks and seeing him with Mike Westhoff, who, by the way, congratulations on the Hall of Fame in a couple of months for the Award of Excellence. Well deserved. And I remember those conversations of Clowney and Westhoff getting very serious about how he has to make the roster. So, oh, yes. Great memories of David Clowney.
Dude, I remember Westhoff because we were talking about this the other day because you were talking about the thing with him in the Hall of Fame. And I told you I met him here. Dude, one of my favorite Westhoff moments was when Steve Weatherford kept the punt and decided to try to run a fake punt himself. And Westhoff fucking lost his mind on the sideline. Oh, dude, I love that. Like, see, and that's the thing is we love Westhoff because he's that guy that tells it like it is. Parcells was like that.
Yes.
We like Rex like that. Aaron Glenn comes along and he's like that, and people want to run him out of town.
I don't get it.
Only because we weren't winning. If we were winning, nobody would have given two shits about any of those press conferences. But kind of like this, similar to the end of Rex's tenure, all that big talk when you're not winning, it gets old real fast. And so that's where I think the difference is between those guys and Glenn. We just got to win some games, but I think we're in a position to do that. Dude, we've really, like, you know, what we've been talking about all night, you know, whether it's drafting a backup quarterback or the guys we brought in, we have drastically improved our depth. And
for sure,
you know, when we have to rotate guys in, I think it's going to make a big difference. The fact that we have a Dane Belton and not Tony Adams, a fact that we've got, you know, Kingsley Enagbari instead of Michael Clements. Like, I think those things are going to make a big difference for us. And so I'm really happy with it. I want to continue to improve our depth and add a few more playmakers. And, man, like I said, we see what the rosters could look like. And you can interchange some of those names. But, dude, the potential is all there. So to me, I think the future looks bright. I mean, who knows? Maybe they go out and they blow every pick. They pick the absolute wrong guy, and it's a disaster. But I don't think so. You know, and even if we hit on 3 out of the top 4 guys that we take, like, we still really, really improved our roster. So, and I think we can easily come away with 4 starters that are very good players out of those first 4 picks. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the future looks bright, man. Dude, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you making time to come back on the show and hang out and rap with me. Tell everybody what you got going on Boygreen Daily, the Man-Child Show, like everything that you're doing. What you got going on?
As a matter of fact, I'd like to punt on that opportunity. I'd like to call an audible at the line of scrimmage. I appreciate you giving me the chance to promote myself. And boy, do I love me some me. I love the sound of my own voice. So I could do that at any point. But I'd actually like to take this moment in the spotlight that you're providing me to please send it out to anyone who's watching this show. I tweeted it out at the beginning of the show, and I'll tweet it out again. Please subscribe to Rickie New York Live. Please show him your support. It's been super cool for me to see him be a caller on my show and to get to know him in that way. And I can't wait till on one of these tailgates, hopefully it lines up and we get to meet each other in person for the first time. But this is a guy that is, you know, just like all of you out there in the universe. He has to work a job to pay for bills and do those sort of things that are non-sports related in the world, and then to be able to come back and do this podcast. The podcast game is friggin' hard, man. It is so hard. Content creation, self-promotion, marketing. I mean, the tape study that obviously Rickie puts into it, the mock drafts, the amount that you have to dive into this thing. And it's a thankless job in terms of, you know, it takes forever to build up subscribers, to build up trust, to build up all of those things that are required to put this together. So I appreciate you providing me an opportunity to pat myself on the back and promote a lot of cool stuff. And I hope people check all that out. But I'd rather use the spotlight on you, Rickie, because what you do is really cool. I love all the different flavors of Jets content creators out there in the universe, and you're one of my favorites, man. So again, with all due respect, I'd like to pass on that opportunity. Instead, highlight Rickie New York Live. Please like the video. Please hit subscribe. Please check out his work. And the fact that he's doing all this giveaway stuff just adds a cherry on top of the pie. To me, it's subscribing for the content and the takes, not necessarily for me, the giveaways. The giveaways are a cool perk. So that's amazing, man.
Right on, man. I appreciate that so much, Paul. That definitely means a lot. Thank you to everybody that's watching. Like Paul said, if you have not subscribed already, please do. We're going to push towards 350 by the draft. Originally it was 300, but we have already surpassed that.
Nice.
And the fact that the Jets are coming off of such a bad season, and now we're in the off season, and there's not even games being played, but my subscribers continue to grow. They're still steadily growing, and
stock up, Rickie.
I got all my
Stock
regulars, Eli Betts, Bill M, MC Mays, like all my guys, Valerie, like my people that are here with me every week, and all the new faces too, man. I appreciate everybody. You guys are the reason I do this. Without you, it wouldn't be that much fun. The phone calls are my favorite part, getting to interact with you guys, talk to you, hear what your opinions are about this team. And so thank you everybody so much. I appreciate it. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, and thank you so much, Paul, and everybody. Once again, Boygreen Daily, if you have not already, which if you're watching me, you probably watch him too, but just in case, if you have not already, please go and subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description. And for any of those people that are interested in draft content, you want good analysis, player breakdowns on all the different prospects, there's also a link in the chat for the Draft Hub. Peter that does that channel is a Jets fan just like us. He does awesome draft content. If you haven't checked him out already, go and subscribe to his channel. And I will see you guys all Saturday night at 8 p.m. where I will be joined by Nick Shine. So until then, everybody have a great weekend. Once again, thank you for tuning in. And I will see you on Saturday night.